Welcome to Vicious Talk with Benny P. Today's podcast is going to be a really fun episode today. We got a new guest of ours, a new friend of Connor's, met through some sports card hobbyist, box breaks here. Someone we've met online and who's been obviously a good connection for Connor and good networking contact for the sports card and memorabilia industry. He's the owner of Trinity Sports Cards in Victoria, Texas. It's a sports cards and memorabilia shop located in that town in Texas. Without further ado, Nico Esparza, welcome, buddy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank y'all. I'm excited. Go ahead.
It's nice to put a face to the magic hands, you know?
I didn't want to forget you, Connor. We do have Connor Larson here for the podcast.
What's poppin', Benny?
Hey, what's poppin', buddy? I was excited for Connor Connor and Nico met through, like I said, some box breaks with Trinity Sports Cards. Connor's been getting really heavy into the hobby of sports cards trading, box breaks, and collecting and selling cards, and it's becoming a big hobby currently. They had a big boom during the pandemic, and Connor and Nico really were able to kind of bond through that. What do you call connected?
I do want to mention, Connor was the first person to buy a spot off of eBay. I don't post.
No way.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. Almost like Destiny.
I like that. Cool. There's a little trivia for you, Ben. Vicious minute right there.
Right? That's really cool. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little about Trinity Cards. We'll get a little bit of sports talk. We'll do a box break as well. I don't know if we'll be able to get through the whole box, but what we will do is we'll include at least a good portion of it here on the podcast, and we'll also have the rest of it, up on our YouTube channel for analysis as well, so we could kind of split it up that way. And then we'll finish up with the Vicious Minute, a little bit of trivia at the end with Nico.
Awesome, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. It was cool that, my podcast is typically I'm bringing on friends and family, people I've met in person. But what's neat is Connor was able to make a connection with you. And it's been, on my end, it's been really a pleasure to speak with you in our chats and stuff, because you're obviously, a nice guy. You work hard in your business. You got a well-rounded portfolio on what you've accomplished so far. And I was excited to bring you on. As, we're meeting you for the first time, but we're also, we're sharing some interests that I think will coincide with a good podcast.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Nico's coming live from his store right now. So if you're hearing a little bit of background noise, that's people getting into the hobby right now. They're playing some Magic and Pokemon. So that's what we'd love to hear. So hopefully you guys will
I thought that was so cool.
Push through it. And it's authentic background noise,
exactly.
It's not just some traffic behind him. So, well, without further ado, Nico, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're from and kind of how you got into the card game and what you did before this.
Sure. Yeah, so, my name is Nico Esparza. I live here in Victoria, Texas. I got 3 little boys, been married for about 4 years.
Very cool. How old are your kids?
I have a 3-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and I have a baby that was born on Sequin and Mayo.
Oh, you got a young family. Very cool. All boys, you said? All boys?
Yeah, all boys.
How's your wife handling that?
Yeah, sometimes she needs a break every now and then, and she's a stay-at-home mom. So.
That's when she sends you to the card shop, right? She's like, Nico, get out of here.
Yeah. No, but like a lot of people, I believe, I grew up on the hobby. Sports has always been a passion of mine. And so I remember going to a card shop. It was actually a snow cone shop, but they had sports cards there. I used to live in Laredo, Texas. Sorry, is it too loud or are we good?
Tell them to bring it down like 2 notches.
Okay.
Knock some heads for us.
Hey guys.
We can take it from the top too, Ben.
Hey guys, shut up.
We don't even mean to them. Yeah, they're cool. They're cool.
Love you guys. Thank y'all.
Tell them they can come on the pod if they want in the future. If they actually.
Y'all don't have to whisper. Right. Okay, but yeah. So I remember going to a card shop in Laredo. That's where I was born, Laredo, Texas. But I have family here in Victoria, and so we used to come visit family. And I'm like, Mom, let's go to the snow cone shop. And I used to buy sports
So
cards and
snow cones
and
and sports cards.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
especially for a 6, 7 year old. So
For sure, that's
that
the
was
perfect kid stop. Kid stop.
and I just remember the old man uh, just being cool, being awesome, and talking to me about the sports cards and I'm seeing players and Hall of Fame players and like I used to come home and my uncle was the one that kind of got me into sports and like man, uncle, I got this Roger Staubach card or Troy Aikman and so I just remember just being excited about buying cards, no matter if they were $1, $5. Um, and so I've always had this dream of maybe opening up a card shop one day. And so and me and my buddy, the one that runs the comic shop here, we kind of talked about it in the previous years, but with life going on and having kids and also I still have a full-time job. I work at a chemical plant, so I work shift work. It was just like, man, maybe one day, that dream can become a reality.
That's
And
awesome.
well, an opportunity that I couldn't pass up presented itself in the middle of a pandemic. But like Connor mentioned earlier, during the pandemic is when the hobby just like got super hot. And so I know the hobby was starting to grow a little bit before the pandemic. When you got players like Patrick Mahomes, Luka, LeBron James,
Yeah,
just keeping the hobby
stars across every sport. For sure.
right. And these are like generational type players. And it's always gonna keep the hobby relevant. But when the pandemic hit, it just like took off like crazy. And so, I kind of got into the breaks. I started, buying more cards here and there. And then, like I said, opportunity presented itself. And I'm like, well, let's just go all in. And I have a great supporting cast. Like I said, the guy's name's Nate Escalante. He runs the comic shop here, over 9,000 comics and cards. He's been a big supporter of mine. So when I'm working at my day job, he's here helping my shop.
So what do you do at the chemical plant?
I'm an operator for a chemical plant.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we just try to keep everything inside the pipe.
How'd you get into that?
He's trying to prevent Chernobyl from happening in Texas, basically.
Yeah, I used to work at a manufacturing plant, Caterpillar, and then when we started having kids, and I'm like, Caterpillar, it can be a great career, but I just needed to make a little bit more money, and so this opportunity presented itself as well, which I took it. It's an awesome job, and it gives me the time to be with family because when you work shift, it's a different schedule. So like right now I'm on my week off, and so we get a week off once a month, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
But yeah, so this opportunity just presented itself. I took it, I ran with it, and here we are. So we opened up back in December, and I started here in this building in a small corner of the building, and so before it was 3 businesses in this one building. It was my shop, a comic shop, and then a printing shop. Well, with the hobby being on fire, once I opened up, we started having customers coming in because I'm the only card shop here. And so once, my room started getting filled up almost on a daily, they're like, okay, you need some more space. Mm-hmm. And again, they've just been very supportive. So they kind of help. Awesome. Yeah. So right now my shop is front and center of the building now, which is, pretty cool. So as soon as you walk in,
hey, come up.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then like I said, just learning the business side has been pretty cool, interesting, and now we have vendors, and so now we're starting to get different product in, just trying to keep up with the demand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure, I bet.
Well, we can help you on the demand front, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's part of what we're helping. You're helping us help you in terms of being on the podcast. This is gonna make for good content for our listeners, but we're also trying to help you promote your business and try to steer people towards Trinity Card Shop, because you seem to be obviously having some success and doing some things right over there for sure.
Yeah, and the product is awesome. I've been very happy with the cardboard he's been sending my way. I give him paper, he sends me cardboard. It's a pretty good deal.
Oh yeah. Cool. Now, we try to, give the best, product, especially, on breaks. I know for a while, with breaks, especially when the hobby was hot. It was a lot of retail that was being on breaks, and me personally, none against retail breaks, but I love hobby boxes. And I think for the best bang for your buck, hobby is the way to go. And so with that being said, we got this for Mr. Connor Larson coming up here soon.
This is going to be that all things analysis box right there.
Top Stadium Club Chrome hobby box.
That's awesome.
It's going to be right up your alley, Ben. Baseball guy, huh?
Oh, yeah. If there's anybody that you're not sure who they are, I could probably tell you a little bit about them. What are your so you'd say the hobby boxes are probably your personal favorites to sell around the shop, or what kind of does the best in terms of products that are on there?
Well, I mean, so speaking of like selling and what I think is best, because I always want to look out for the best interest for the customers.
Yeah.
I understand, right now cards are hard to get, even retail stuff. And so, I mean, it is what it is. I respect the hustle, but a lot of people are essentially buying overmarked,
for sure.
Well, marked up retail boxes.
It's all over the third party, the
yeah.
And
so Target's sold out. Walmart's not selling in stores in a lot of places. I know in Boston, in the bigger cities, I go to my Target, the shelves are either wiped or there's signs that say we're not selling products because people are fighting over it. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so again, I respect the hustle. People, are out there and they're grinding, and I respect that. But from me looking out for the best interest for customers and their investments, again, if you're buying a retail box at 3 times the market price, I mean, you're spending 3 times the amount of a $40 box or 20, or now the new prices are coming up a little bit. And again, not that it, obviously you can still pull some fire and some good hits, but
it's more of a gamble that way though.
Right. There's no guarantee of the autograph or the short print card, right?
Right. So hobby boxes, which is hard to mark up hobby boxes more than, what they go for, so to me, and plus hobby boxes tend to put out, more hits, more of the chasers, number cards, autograph cards. And so, and me now having access to certain hobby boxes at, better prices, I feel a lot better selling hobby boxes. Or what I like to do here at here at the shop, because I know hobby boxes can be a little more of the higher end as far as like cost. I like to open up the hobby box and then sell the packs individually, so that way customers can still get into the hobby box, right? With the chance of getting some of those exclusive hits.
How does with the aim of your shop, like you have to buy kind of in bulk. How does that work for a local shop like your own? Like do you get in contact with a lot of the companies, or do you kind of have vendors that you go through for that, or how does that work out? Because it does seem like a unique type of market.
Yeah, so right now we just have some vendors that we contact with, and unfortunately, the vendors have had to, respectively, I understand, up their prices as well. So right now I'm still not able to get. I'm still not able to get certain product at wholesale prices, but I can just get certain stuff at better prices than what you can get off of eBay or market value. Plus, I can kind of avoid the eBay fees.
That still makes you valuable.
Right. So, and then buying in bulk does help out too. You can get discounted prices buying in bulk. But again, since I've been open up since December, and we finally started getting vendors up in like recently, we're building that business relationship to where eventually I'll be able to get stuff at wholesale prices. That way I can, have more stuff here at better prices.
Yeah. That's cool. So you talked about how when you were growing up, you went to the snow cone shop, found some cards there. You kind of grew interest through the hobby in the hobby kind of that way. What were you collecting when you were a kid? Like, did you have like a personal favorite of like cards you had, or do you remember anything that like you really got you hooked on the hobby? Like, do you remember anything that you got really jazzed about for that stuff?
Yeah, so I was mainly at the time looking for cowboy cards, and I remember this one specific, and I kind of mentioned earlier, a Roger Staubach card, and it was not, a card that was made during when he was played. It was kind of one of those like remade cards or reprinted cards. But to say that I had a Roger Staubach card, which obviously if you don't know him, especially if you're a Cowboys fan, like that's probably the greatest quarterback in Cowboys history, and he created the Hail Mary pass. I was pretty stoked about that, especially as a little kid. And then I know I don't sell Pokemon cards here because we have a comic shop that does that. But growing up, I remember collecting Pokemon cards, and now you see the prices what they go for. And before, like, man, I had most of those cards, in my binder, and we were just trading. So I never played Pokemon. I didn't play.
The same.
I didn't play growing up.
I didn't play it.
Yeah,
I had a binder full of them, but all I did was like throw them around my room like a dumbass 7-year-old. And then I see Jake Paul wearing a Charizard around his neck when he goes into Floyd Mayweather.
$1 million or something.
He said it was worth $500,000, and he's not wrong. If it's like a PSA 10 and first edition Charizard, like
I think it was a BGS pristine, so almost a black label.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, but I just remember those times, So as far as cards, the one that I kind of remember was that Roger Staubach card.
That's awesome.
And then collecting other than Cowboys, Pokemon cards.
Yeah, dude, I have very similar experiences because I had a shop that I used to go to. Like, I never really thought of it as more of a hobby because I used to go with my dad to the shop after we go hit some baseballs, and then we go to the shop for a little bit. And there was this old gentleman, like you said, there was the old guy there helping you out. It's same ordeal here. But like was an older gentleman with like neon signs in the windows, and you go in there and you look at your favorite players through the glass casings. It's just stuff you remember. It's real nostalgic for sure.
I'm pissed at like 10-year-old me right now because living in Connecticut, I could have chosen to be like a Pats fan or a New York fan, and I went to the New York side. So I have a ton of just like worthless like Eli cards, and personally my favorite Yankee was Alfonso Soriano. So I have like bat cards and jersey patch cards of Soriano. I'm like, why the hell didn't I pick like a Pats, being like the Pats? And then if I had a ton, like I could have easily had a ton of Brady cards that are going for like thousands now. Instead, I have a ton of like these $5 Eli and Soriano cards, and I'm like, I screwed up. I screwed up big time. I went the wrong direction.
That's funny. Nico, do you still have a PC? Do you still have a personal collection?
So being in the business, my PC has kind of like shrunken because
have you
right now I'm trying to build up my shop. So everything I say is for sale.
Gotcha.
But there are some stuff that if I were to get like a Luka PSA 10 Luka. So again, I'm a Rockets fan, but Luka's one of my favorite players, and I think
also a Texas guy, right?
Yeah, and so I just believe he's like the next LeBron James, so to speak, of the NBA. Next all-time great, and I want to be able to follow this guy's career. Hopefully, he stays somewhere he's going, and be able to watch this guy's career unfold to one of the greatest. And so, I personally collect Luka, and I'm also a big fan of vintage. So I have having a little brain fart. 1956, I believe, Topps Willie Mays card.
Ooh, I love
that.
I love Willie stuff right now. Unfortunately, it's kind of morbid to think. He's getting up there in age. You're gonna see a spike in Willie Mays stuff when he passes away. So.
Yeah, and so that one, again, like I say, everything's for sale. But to me, if I had to sell that, like I'm in like desperate needs, or you're gonna overpay just to keep out, just to take it out of my hands, because I don't want to sell it even for what it's worth.
Yeah, Willie has a cult following of fans, so that card
some of those guys, when there's like a documentary about the guy coming out, or when they pass, those cards that like Jordan cards when the Jordan doc come out. I think there's a Willie documentary coming out though. I might be wrong, but I think so.
Yeah.
And so your PC might have to go on for sale just because of the return on the value you might get right there. You're a businessman first and foremost. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. And then right now, Dak, I guess, will be one of those other players that, if I can get one of a PSA 10 autograph rookie, either optic or prism.
Yeah. He's on pace to put up some historic numbers based on the way he plays.
So one thing I always tell people, right now, especially for this, and this is a little insider hint, maybe everyone knows about it, maybe not, but since they added this extra game to the NFL season, I think two players that people may want to invest in, only because they're affordable, I think so. And to me, they have the biggest window of like projection of increase in profit is Dak Prescott, because last year he was on record setting pace before he got hurt, obviously, and he has the weapons to do it. I think he's not the best quarterback,
but one of the best receiving cores in the league.
Right, with hopefully a healthy O-line, and you got the running back. The defense is, I know this is my team, but it's kind of skeptic still. I'm hoping that they can turn it around. Hopefully it's the coaching, and they got a new coach now with the offseason, but I don't want to be like the typical Cowboys fan makes excuses for them. But if that is true, there are going to be a not so great defense. Well, it's always going to keep the Cowboys having to throw the ball a lot. So if he's breaking records, if he's breaking
6,000 yard deck,
right, that's gonna increase his card market value. And then the other person is Derrick Henry. If he breaks the record, I mean, he has the chance to. I think he's one of the only running backs in today's league who can, break the record. And he got close to it last year.
I think he's a good.
So if he breaks it, that's gonna definitely drive up his market value.
Having that extra game.
Derrick Henry feels like someone who could also be kind of volatile too, because he's set a record pace of workload over the last 4 years, where he's gotten more work than any running back has ever gotten over that period of time, ever. He's
true. No, he wouldn't be a long term. I'm talking about quick.
No. I agree with you, because
over the next season, this is a guy that could see that skyrocket.
He has the ability to get into that historic echelon of the best running backs of all time. But it seems like people always doubt him for whatever reason. They just think in fantasy, if
we'll take him the 8th pick, 9th pick, he's going for 2,000 yards.
This up, he's the number 1 pick overall. If you knew he was gonna continue to keep this pace up, he hits him and McCaffrey as the first and second pick overall. So it's kind of there's just some sort of public doubt about him, and he hasn't shown any weakness. So it's people expect to eventually find that chink in his armor, but it has not come.
He's Von Miller. He's Von Miller as a running back. You know what I mean? He's got 4.4 speed, and he's 6'3" or something, 270 pounds.
He's a big dude. It's crazy seeing him walk by a tight end or a lineman, and he's almost as big, if not bigger than them. I'm he's a running back.
Yeah, that picture of him next to Mark Ingram and on the Alabama sideline is hilarious. Running backs come in all shapes and sizes or something.
This is my baby brother. It's what?
That's funny.
I love those plays, especially Dak. I think that's a great idea, coming off the injury first and foremost. So people haven't seen him in 12 games or so, and through the first 5 games, I mean, he was on pace to break records. You're exactly right. And when you're talking about sports cards, especially football, it's a QB run market. And so if Dak leads the league in passing yards, and if the Cowboys, which are America's team still, end up being somewhat valuable in terms of, and you think about the conference that they're in too. I mean, the Redskins, Giants, and Eagles, that's certainly a winnable division right there. So I love that Dak play. And that's one I haven't thought of myself, and I might have to hop on that train real quick. I like that a lot.
And that's just a sports investor talk, not being biased, or anything like that. Like I said. Yeah.
I like it. So Nico, tell me. So you and Connor met, through the business of Trinity and everything like that. What made you get into the box breaks, and what made you want to start getting into that?
Well,
and maybe for our listeners who aren't as familiar with sports cards, give us a breakdown of what a box break is as well. I think that might be helpful.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah. So a box break is basically, you have a product that you're going to post, and, especially right now, it's hard for people to get their hands on retail and for sure hobby boxes. And so if you can't get your hands on it, you're gonna pay a premium, for stuff. And so, and that premium can just be too much for your budget. So basically, you put up a box, and whatever teams are in that sports, like for baseball, you can put up 30 teams. You can put up, 30 spots, 15 spots, and you buy a spot, and you're essentially buying a team. And so when they open up that box, whatever team you get, which more likely it's random, you get all the cards from that box. It can be nothing, or it can be a one-on-one autograph, a rookie, but again, you only paid a portion of what the box is going for.
Are you
and
when you price out the slots, do you kind of look at the box and be like, which teams project to be the most valuable within a specific box, or do you kind of just make it equal across each slot?
I just stick with just being equal. I know people, there's different ways you can lay out your platform as far as like, pricing the spots. Some people, they do teams, some do pick your teams. I just do just a random across the board for the most part.
Gotcha.
I used to do pick your teams, but I realized I've learned my customer base, they prefer just random, teams.
Okay.
Because they would hate to miss out on a product that their team was already picked, so it may kind of like not want to get into the break essentially. And I don't have the biggest.
So you give them a chance, regardless of where they.
So you spend $40 on a select hobby box or something, but then all of a sudden you get the Chargers, and you're like, "Holy crap! I got the deal of a lifetime." If a Herbie gets pulled, my return on investment's incredible.
Right.
It's a gamble within a gamble. It's not just the box break. Is like, my cards get pulled? It's also, what team do I get? It adds a little bit of level of interest, and that it makes it fun for sure.
Yeah, and then in my breaks, I'll give the customers like 15 minutes to trade if they want to trade. So that's always pretty cool to see people trade. And also, I tend to give 3 giveaways at the end to kind of help just give more stuff out, because I understand. I mean, it is a gamble, and I've been blessed to have quite a bit of stuff to afford to give away some pretty cool prizes. I think Connor won a giveaway on the first break. If I'm not mistaken.
I got a LaMelo Ball. I got the. I think I skunked on the team, but then I won the LaMelo Ball. I won the Raz giveaway at the end. So it was like, all right, get made up for the value for sure. So it adds another level of intrigue in the box break. And I gotta say, the trading that you allow in your break is definitely something that makes your product unique, especially when you're talking about like other guys doing the pick your teams. They don't allow trading because you're just buying a team. But if you do a random and then you get assigned a team, that say I have like 3 teams too, I can go ahead and bundle 2 lower teams and find a guy whose favorite team is the Jaguars or something. And I could be like, all right, well, let me get the Vikings for that. And let me grab that Justin Jefferson card, hopefully. And so you can like pair 2 teams up for one. I've been very active in the trades. As someone who plays like fantasy football, I love the trading aspect of it. So to bring that into cards, it makes you kind of feel like a general manager, man. It definitely makes your product and what you do in your store unique. And that's one thing I love about what you guys got going on. Awesome.
Appreciate it. And I guess to answer your original question, how I got into breaks or why I do breaks. This was like a few years ago, I had a buddy of mine, he was buying into breaks, and this was before I kind of like jumped back into the hobby. I've always, every now and then bought stuff, but, just with life going on and work, I was not always into the hobby the way I used to when I was growing up. But anyways, a good friend of mine, he was a customer, and he was, showing me what he was doing. And I'm like, man, what is that? And he's like, oh, you buy a team, and you get the cards, the players of that team from this box. No, it's pretty cool. And how much of the spots and this and that. And he told me. And so the entrepreneur mind or entrepreneur in me was like, man, like, how much did he buy that box for? And he's like, oh, this. And he's like, okay. And I did the math. I'm like, man, he's probably making a killing. I'm like, why don't you do that? Mm-hmm. And so surprisingly, not surprisingly, he ended up doing that. And so I started supporting him on his breaks, and I just like, man, ideas started shooting to me, and so whenever my shop, the opportunity for me to open up a shop came up, I opened up a shop, and breaks is a good way to kind of keep a substantial and consistent flow of income,
Oh, I didn't think about that.
because,
Yeah.
because people like breaks, and
It
again,
makes it
there's
affordable to get into a product that necessarily you might not be able to afford if you had to buy the whole thing yourself as a customer, right? Like I can't
right.
afford a $500 box, but to pay 20 or 30, $50 to get a spot in a break, it makes it much more reasonable, and it still allows you to get that chance to get that big hit, which is really cool.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like I said, breaks, and it's not something that, how do I say this? I enjoy doing breaks because I enjoy the conversations, the interactions, with the customers, and a lot of uh, most of my customers are from my page, so I know them personally. So it's always pretty cool to interact with them. Um, but it's not like where I kind of like want to do on a daily basis. I prefer the personal interactions.
Oh,
Prefer
yeah.
people coming in, and again, when it comes to looking out for the best interest for people who want to like invest or make sure that they're spending the money the smartest ways. I'm a big fan of graded cards, and so that's something that I want to start incorporating here at the shop. So I wanted to mention that I have a membership with CSG, and so if anybody wants to submit their cards to CSG, with PSA being down at the moment, and now BGS, CSG, I think is going to be they're a new company. If you're not familiar with CSG, their parent company is CGC. They're the ones that have been grading comic books. They pretty much own the comic book, market. And so I think because of their pedigree and their history of knowing how to grade stuff and look out for their customers' best interest, I think their sporting cards department is going to do fairly good. And they're a slab. I know people are used to either the BGS or the PSA slab, and so something new is like, man, it's not the same. Like I think it's going to be kind of an acquiring thing when it comes to their slabs. But yeah, so that's one thing that I'm definitely going to be putting a lot of time and effort is getting cards graded, helping people get their cards graded. And right now, since they're a new company, their prices are pretty affordable. The ROI on theirs compared to like PSA and Beckett, I mean, you can't compare them at this point in time because PSA, BGS, and SGC, they're kind of the top three. But again, for the turnaround times and the price to get your cards graded, I think CSG is a good company to go with.
No, that's really cool because getting your cards graded right now, like you're hinting at, is just like it's very difficult for the casual card collector to
Yeah.
just submit a small bundle of cards to get graded, and it's taking forever to get them back. And so going through a third party like yourself, I think is a huge help for some people that are looking to do that.
Yeah. I mean, PSA, they just came out with some news today. They're like, oh, we're allowing people to submit via this new package. It's the express package, and it's $200 a card to get your card graded. So unless you have some insane hit where the value is there to get a card graded for $200, it doesn't make sense. But you're talking about some of those next tier companies that are trying to make a name for themselves, like CSG, where you have $20-$30 to get your card graded, or if you're doing a bulk submission through, say, Trinity Sports Cards, for example, and they can get you a little bit of a better deal. It's definitely a great proposition to, one, save your card, so you're not getting dings, dents, and to add to your personal collection. And then second of all, it's going to help your ROI if you do try to resell in the future. So it's definitely cool to get the name out of some of these other countries, help build up that reputation. And to be honest, just Beckett and PSA aren't really an option for most people unless you're buying $1,000 cards.
Right.
Totally true.
And so hopefully we're going to try out this bulk grading service as well, because if we get some hits out of this hobby box that we're going to break, we're going to leave them with you since you open them up in the store, and you'll sub them for us. And, we can give our listeners a review too of how that goes. But also one other thing, Ben, sorry, before we move on from CSG, they differentiate themselves from PSA, for example, because I think they provide subgrades as well on the cards as a possibility. So
right,
I think there are certain categories like they'll grade the edges specifically, the corners, the surface, for example, whereas PSA just gives you one overall grade. And so it's something new, so you can kind of see like, oh, where did I get knocked? Oh, it's because the card was off center, for example, or because there's a big scratch over it, so it's a surface grade. Whereas PSA, they kind of leave you in the dark as to why, oh, why did my card get a 7 as opposed to a 10, for example. So I think that's a really cool proposition that they're bringing to the market.
I didn't know that. That's neat.
Yeah, and to add on to that, some people, because Becky does that as well, they like that and then they don't. To me, in my opinion, like I think one is pretty cool, like you mentioned, to know like because you understand, you know what the true value of this card, you know where you got knocked at, and so I value that more than like you said, PSA just giving you an overall grade, and to where you don't know like what went wrong with the card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just want to mention that some people they like it, some people they love it, because they're like, I know what I'm getting. I got a card that is perfect centering surface, but yeah, it has a small nick on the corner, like or it's off center just a little bit, but everything else is crisp.
I think that's way better. The CSG, the way that they gave you those subgrades. I didn't even think about that before, but that's so true because that's a very common issue you'll hear when people get grades back, because oftentimes if the grade isn't what they were expecting, then they want to figure out what the problem was,
and good luck going through customer service at PSA right now. Like they're gonna get back to you about why your card got the grade it did.
Right. Yeah.
I think we could swear on this podcast, right, Ben?
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, buddy.
Shit, PSA.
So like the card grading system has been something in this hobby that has been developing and changing over the course of the last couple of years. Like, so can you talk about like just kind of how the initial boom of this hobby and this market, the sports cards market, kind of how you dealt with the initial boom and then kind of the plateauing, and then I know we've kind of experienced a little bit of a lull in some of the card prices, at least for some of the base cards. Can you talk about how you've navigated those types of fluctuations in the market?
As well as maybe your opinion on where you see the card market going too, to add on.
Sure, yeah. So, whenever I opened up my shop in December, it was still kind of, booming up. You start, I think the Michael Jordan PSA 10 set the record like in March, I think, or February, where 2 of them sold for like 700 something thousand each, which, little known fact, you could have bought that card all day, every day before like 2 years ago for like 20,000-30,000, and that card went for like 700,000. So it was a lot easier to post up a break and then get filled up, back then compared to now. But again, what I've been doing is just learning my demographics, learning what I can do for the community. How so mystery packs is one thing that's kind of been a pretty good hit. I started making mystery packs here. I haven't posted them too much online. It was kind of a trial and error, but I made like I think 15 of them and they're already sold out. So to me, mystery packs is pretty cool. I want to do submission grades, so that's another way to with breaks kind of. I don't know if I mentioned this, but like I've noticed across the board, like breaks are starting to like die down a little bit, mainly because the pandemic is kind of like on the back burner. So people are now spending the money either on we're spending money on the cards because they were sports betting before got canceled to pandemic, when now they're back to playing fantasy sports. So not so much money is going back into the hobby the way it was, but again, just doing submissions, doing mystery packs. I do also like autograph memorabilia. And so like right now, because of my time, there's some plans that I have set that I haven't set forth in motion, but one thing that I started doing for the kids here is good grades for graded cards. And so basically what that is, I want to reward kids and also give kids an incentive to do good in school.
Very cool.
And so I did one. My first one was the last report card for this past school year. I had about 10 kids, and this was local. because I want the kids to come into the shop. But eventually I'll open up to.
That's awesome. That's how you grow a fan base.
Yeah. And eventually I'll open up to the rest of, nationwide, I guess, you would say. But yeah, so I had like, I think 10 or 12 kids have their report cards submitted to me. And I randomized and I gave 5 kids free graded cards. They came in, they picked out the cards of their choice.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so one thing that's really important to me is getting the approval of the community. And that's what's really going to keep my doors open is the community, seeing what I'm trying to do, not just make a buck, but to, help out the community in a positive way. And again, the hobby is fun. I kind of miss the way it used to be back in the day whenever I was.
I love the aspect of the importance of placing the importance of on the brick and mortar aspect, and I think promotions like that are one great socially, and there's this great socially responsible kind of program where you're encouraging kids to do well in school. It's always good, but you're creating those experiences, the ones that like we had, where we talked about how we went, like how I mentioned, I would go into the card shop with my dad, pick out cards, and collect cards that way. Like, you're creating those types of experiences for young fans in sports, and that's super important, I think, to grow this hobby as well as sports in general, because I think the power of sports, when you get to the broad sense of it, is just very impactful for our youth. And I think encourages them to do a lot of great things, not just on the field, but also off the field. It teaches a lot of life lessons that people, like especially the youth, can really learn from. And so I think that's great. It's a very responsible way to grow both your business as well as this hobby and do well for your community. That's really good.
Yeah, and I definitely want to be that card shop that kids grow up saying, like, man, like I remember my local card shop. Yeah. Hopefully they don't call me an old man at this point in time, but hopefully I can be that old man later in the years and to still, because I love doing this. But yeah, so those are just ways I've learned to like navigate. I understand breaks are not going to be as hot as they used to be. But again, I think graded cards are important and will be important for years to come. That's going to protect your investment. That's going to, show like what.
I did hear about a service on that podcast. Connor, you and I listened to that podcast, Sports Card Nonsense. Mm-hmm. I heard about, I don't know if they were doing it or if they were going through a third party, where they had like a service where before they send them off to get graded, I think it was one of their sponsors, before they send the card off to get graded, they give you kind of a tip on what you might be able to expect back. Are you offering that to any of your customers as well, where like, so say someone wants to get their card graded, but you can kind of tell them, this might not really be worth it. You're not going to get you're maybe get a 6 or a 7. It's not really going to be worth it for you to get it graded. Are you offering any of that, or is that kind of more maybe down the line?
So yeah, I've had customers come in and mention, hey, should I get this graded? And I will give my honest opinion. Okay. Like, yeah, I think this. Now, I was going to provide a cleaning service, meaning if you brought your card in, I can give it a clean swipe, but I've kind of delayed. I kind of stopped that because
a little risky.
Yeah, last thing I want to do is, because you do have to be very careful. Yeah. And I don't know if you can have enough experience to be careful 100% of the time. Yeah. Last thing I want to do is mess up someone's card by catching a nick, whether you've been doing it for 20 years or it's your first time. But as far as like the centering and just kind of having a better idea, because I've looked at cards, almost every day now. I'm always willing to give my honest opinion. Now, when we started doing the submissions, and I just had people give me a stack of cards, and I'm gonna ask them, do you want to go through them first, or do you want to just submit them? They're like, just submit them. Okay, fine. Then I won't go through them and then call them back. Hey, I looked at this card. You
don't want to put your business out there if they're not looking.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I'm always willing to look at someone's stuff and give them my 2 cents of what I think is worth, what's worth grading, what's worth holding on to. Anytime I make deals here, like I've had people sell their lots to me. What I prefer to do is go through their lot and be like, okay, look, this is what I value it at. Now this is what I'm offering, and they kind of, they understand, I got to make a business, a profit. So yeah, I like to
Yeah,
always like
and
that.
you're the one who's going to do the work to sell it, right? They don't have to price out each individual card on eBay themselves, sell it, ship it. So, they
Yeah,
have to expect a little bit of a lower price if they're going to sell the whole lot to you.
yeah.
Nico, personal question. I got like a big box of just like all kinds of cards, like old cards.
$20. Just kidding.
No, like some of them are lots too
Sold.
though. Like I have like my dad had cards and he has like, bundles of like the like every NBA team, small baggies of like, the Hornets, the Raptors. Like I got some like mostly cards from the 90s and the 2000s. What would you recommend someone doing with those types of things in terms of if they got a big box of cards? Maybe you got a few decent ones in there, mostly probably cards within the $1 to $5 range. What would you kind of recommend that? Besides, like, is it just kind of doing lots, like you're saying?
I mean, they could definitely take it to their LCS and just, hey, here's a box full of stuff that, I feel like it's not really worth me going through and the time, like, making an offer. I guess if you really wanted to get something in return, I mean, if you have some stuff that you can show, like, hey, these are mystery packs, but here are some cards that I know are in there, it's almost like doing a break, but you're buying packs or just buying a pack in general. Or I mean, like I said, if stuff is still is gradable and look at that card and see what it's going for graded. I mean, it may be worth sending in to get graded, even if it's kind of beat up. If it's you can look at the pop report, the population, and if it's pretty rare and it's a known player, I mean, even though that card may not be going for a lot of people may not know that there's only 4 PSA 10s of this, doesn't have to be essentially a rookie, but it can just be, let's say, Scottie Pippen 92, skybox that they're like, hey, I know that card, but if you get it graded and there's only like 5 of them as PSA 10, I mean, you can say, hey, there's only 6 of these and I have one of them.
You can set the market a little bit, right?
Yeah. So, but I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of cards, especially in the junk wax era that, and I have a whole bunch of those still that are just not worth much. And me personally, I don't have the time to like do much with this. So I'm just making mystery packs. I'm making mystery boxes. I just made one. I made one, my first one, and it's a box. Just I don't know. I didn't even count, but it's like 1,000+ cards. I have it for $30. If anybody wants, I think it's a pretty cool, box that you can either collect, kind of start your collection, or if you want to take the time, you can definitely make $30 back plus more. I just put in a stack of cards, Yeah.
I'm working on trying to sort it either by team or if it's a specific player that might be a little bit more valuable. Maybe like try to bundle them a lot.
One thing that I thought about doing
by teams, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing, and I mean, there's a collector for everything. Now, the collectors for like stuff like that, I know they're kind of hard to find. But one thing I've thought about doing, maybe if you definitely value these cards and they're like your favorite team, favorite players, you can even, if you wanted to, make a picture frame and just put them in there. I know someone here, I don't know if they still do it, but they were making like sets of teams and framing them up and selling for like $30.
I like that.
I got a frame right here. I can actually do that with. Look at this thing. I was gonna put my wife's flowers in this. Oh, you can't see because of the screen.
We got the Zoom background, Ben. So
I don't know. It's a clear frame.
Yeah, tell your wife you're gonna use that for your sports cards and not her picture, and see how that goes, Ben.
No, it was a buy one get one free kind of situation.
You'll be sleeping on the couch real quick.
Yeah, or in the doghouse.
That's funny. Nico,
I did want to mention.
No, go ahead.
So I didn't get a chance to answer one of your questions, where I think the hobby is going to go.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see it kind of like mellow down a little bit. One thing that I've noticed it is when I saw the Kobe rookies, like the 96 tops Kobe Bryant rookie cards. Man, even like I was expecting when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame that they were going to go back up, but PSA 9 was selling about a month ago. Well, actually, probably about 2 months ago for about a PSA 9 was going for about $1,200. You can now buy one for like $400.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's obviously after he made the Hall of Fame where he got inducted. So, but with that being said, I think his cards will eventually go back up. But the hobby is going to remain relevant. So I always tell like people like the hobby was like right here. Then the pandemic, it came like right here. But we're starting to see it about right here, and I think it's gonna plateau like right here and then fluctuate from here because you're starting to see celebrities get into the hobby. You're starting to see players invest in their own cards or in just cards in general. I don't know if y'all saw Snoop Dogg. He sold one of his lowrider cards for a Kobe Bryant rookie card. You know, I think it was a Topps Chrome PSA 10, I think, or BGS 10. So because you're starting to see celebrities, you know, talk about the cards and get into the hobby, it's going to remain kind of hot, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also part of the burden is also on individuals like yourself, where you talked about how you have programs for kids. Like you're grooming future hobbyists,
the next generation.
Yeah, and so I think that's also super important too, because it's good one that we had a boom, but I think you're right where I don't think we're going to see it dip completely back down, at least not for a long time, because like you said, with the boom, we grew more fans. There are people that are interested in this hobby again, and they're taking their kids to card shops like yours, and the kids are enjoying it with their fathers and their parents, and that aspect definitely has an organic way of growing this type of business.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to advocate too to now that I'm a local shop owner, to other card shop owners to, hey, let's be like a beacon of light to our youth. You know, make the hobby fun for them, especially because right now it's hard to get, you know, good product because either one, they don't sell it, or two, they're always out of stock. Well, you know, since we have some sort of access, you know, more than others, let's give back to the kids and do and be creative. You know, don't just give cards away, but you know, like kind of like do what I do, like with the good grades, or I'm sure there's so many things that we can do with that.
Dude,
I think that's
part of me wants to move to Victoria so I can be close to Trinity Card Shop over there.
Yeah, come down.
No, I do got to. I have a card
Ben, you
shop
can't sub your old like 2012 you know, grades right now, okay, man? He's not gonna give you some cards for those. I got a B in math in 2010. Can I get a?
There is a card shop that's not that far from here, and I've been meaning to try to make it over there just to try to take a look to see how they're operating, because I think the value of these local businesses like your own is very important.
And one thing for our listeners, you know, like before you go on eBay, you buy a bunch of retail stuff, go check out your local card shop, and you might get a better deal on the hobby box or something, get some better hits, and you're also going to be a better part of your local community, because local card store owners, they want to give back to the community, so it's important you also support them too.
Reach. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Nico, you think it's about time you want to try to open up a few of these cards in the Topps box?
I'm itching right now.
Yeah,
you
all ready?
See what's in there. Hell yeah.
All right. Let me get y'all the other way. Let's see.
I like it.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I like that.
I love it.
Ooh.
So he's got a little personal break mat right there. That's to protect the cards so there's not on a hard surface.
Yeah.
I had a Randy Johnson figurine like that. Is this the starting line, right? Or what is it, starting?
Yeah.
I had one like that, and actually the other day it's funny because I was babysitting my niece and nephew, and my brother took the figurine and gave it to my niece and nephew, and it's just not in the same shape anymore.
Wow.
They were playing with it the other day, and it makes this noise like Randy Johnson struck out 20 Cincinnati Reds or whatever, and I heard the noise from the other room, and I was like, that sounds is super familiar. Like,
hey,
and I was like, that was in my room when I was a kid growing up.
That's my collectible right there.
There goes my retirement.
Right.
I'm gonna grab an extra light just to give y'all some more light.
Cool.
Sounds great. Yeah, so to give our listeners a little heads up, what we did, to kind of entice Nico to get on the pod is we bought a box from him, of course. No, I'm just kidding. But I honestly wanted to buy something.
Connor's a
Ben wants to
fiend.
get in on something.
Connor's a
Absolutely.
card fiend.
Cards are my crack, and so we're gonna pop open this Top Stadium Club Chrome. Baseball's in season, so
Is
what's
this your
the hot
first,
sport
Connor?
right
Is this
now?
your first of this hobby box here?
Yeah, I haven't opened any baseball hobby boxes.
Nice.
So what we plan on doing is, if we get any hits, we're gonna leave them with Nico and test out the CSG grading service, and that's another thing that might help out people who are buying into breaks. If your local card shop that you're buying into a break from also has a submission service to a grading company, that's awesome, because now you don't have to pay shipping prices to ship it to your card shop to then get it subbed to a grading card service. Your card's already there, so it provides a little bit of extra value if you're buying into a break too. But
For sure.
so hopefully we
Yeah.
oh, my boy Eli, there we go.
Yeah.
If only it was Brady, right?
Yeah, no.
I love it. That's awesome.
Some guys we're looking for here. It's a 2020 box, so we're looking at rookies from last year. We got Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis and Luis Robert were the rookies of the year. Randy Rosarina had the home run record for rookies, I think, and the hits record for rookies.
Amazing in the playoffs last year.
Rosarina, I think, had the hits for anybody and in any postseason last postseason. And then you got Gavin Lux with the Dodgers, Cronenworth, who's been a stud, Devin Williams. Pitchers are a little bit less valuable typically than hitters. Tony Gonsolin, starter for the Dodgers, as well as Dustin May with the Dodgers. Alec Boehm, Ian Anderson, Christian Javier with the pitcher with the Astros. Jared Walsh, one of my personal favorites on the Angels, good first baseman. Sixto Sanchez, just a few names there.
All right, so y'all ready?
Yeah.
I was born ready for this. Let's go.
Oh, Connor, you said there's a potential for some autos too here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a great auto lineup in these hobby boxes too. So you could get a Trout, Tatis, Hank Aaron, or Ken Griffey. So, some older stars too. It's not always about the rookies.
Yeah, so this one is guaranteeing a one on-card autograph in every box.
And so, Nico, can you tell me why on-card is important?
Yeah, so to me, it's not really that important. If it's an autograph, I like it. But for a lot of collectors, on-card means that the player touched the card, signed it. Now you have sticker autographs, so that means the player got a list of stickers and signed all the stickers, and then other people placed the stickers on the card. So it's like the player didn't actually touch the card. But to me, I mean, an autograph's an autograph.
Yeah, I should say important for certain hobbyists, just like PSA or BGS is important for certain hobbyists, right? But
yeah, I think
an autograph's an autograph. A grade from a grading card company that has a legit reputation is a grade, right?
Right. Now, I mean, I think as far as like investments, I mean, if I had to choose, I mean, I think if you gave me a on card and a sticker and tell me which one to choose, I'm gonna choose on card. But if you're gonna tell me an on card is $300 and the sticker of the same player, same card is a sticker auto for $150, I'll probably buy the $150 sticker auto instead of paying double for an on card.
Right. So if it's for your PC and you're looking to save a little money, right? And autographs are still pretty cool.
Right.
For me, I have mixed feelings about how I feel with grown adults, like grown men in their middle-aged men going out to ballparks and stadiums to try to get the athlete's signature. Like sometimes I just feel like let the kids get the autographs, and if the adults want it, you could buy it. Part of me just like doesn't love the desperateness of a grown adult. Like, can you sign this for me, please?
You're not gonna knock over like a 7-year-old Ben to be first in line.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to loathe the adults that used to push me out of the way.
Oh wow, these are pretty.
Yeah, Yaz.
These are cool looking cards, man.
Carl Yastrzemski. He's a Red Sox favorite. He's Hall of, and actually I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. He's like a 12-time All-Star though.
Miguel Andujar and Andujar.
Yeah. It's a Yankee. Okay, I was like, it looked like a Mariners jersey to me, but Andujar's not bad. He's a left fielder, third baseman for the Yankees.
Austin Hayes.
I don't know much about Austin Hayes. I thought it was Austin Martin for a second.
Oh,
Austin Martin's a stud.
Oh, nice. Favorite Torres.
Ooh, Glaber, that's sick.
Glaber had a down year last year though, so this is his 2020 season. He did not have a good 2020 year.
I think this one is maybe our autograph.
Okay.
Maybe it's faced the other way, but we'll see. I don't want to surprise y'all. Nope. James Marville.
Is it a short print? Is that why it was faced the other way?
I thought so, but no.
It's a nice little rookie.
It is a rookie, yeah. But
cool. Hey, I'm not mad it's not our auto because I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, and then Michael Baez, another rookie for Diego.
He's not one of their top rookies, the Padres.
All right, so I'm gonna put all the base cards on the right pile, the inserts in the middle, and then your rookies, your main hits on the left.
Cool.
If you want, I can go a little bit quicker and just stop at like the inserts and the hits, or I can show, since this is your box, Connor.
Yeah, Connor, you choose. It's your box.
Hey, let's fly through it. If it's not a guy that we necessarily recognize, that's totally fine. A little bit of better content for the viewers then.
John Donaldson. Oh, that's not
there we
bad.
go.
Oh, who is that?
Willie Castro.
Willie Castro. Oh, he's not bad.
Ooh, and it's a rookie too. So anytime you have a rookie auto, that's pretty cool.
He's not bad.
That's not bad at all. I'm not sure what the comp is on that, but
Connor, look it up.
All right, I'm on it.
And then we have another
in the box for me.
We have another good rookie coming up. And let me see if it's short print. Nope, just an on-card auto. All right, so the next one is Yordan Alvarez with the Astros.
Ooh, that's awesome.
I like these inserts.
That's gorgeous. Yordan's having an awesome year. He's batting like 300, like 13, 15 home runs.
He's had a few injuries over the last couple of years, so it actually is a good time to buy in on an Alvarez card because his value should go up. He's the kind of guy that's going to win a batting title probably in his career. Huge dude. He shows like real advanced mechanics at the plate for someone his size. He's like got to be like 6'4".
And then we have Patrick Sandoval.
Ooh, I like Sandy. He's a personal favorite of mine. I think he's a good player.
David Price.
He's got relegated to the bullpen in Los Angeles. I like Pricey, but he's closing out his career not too strong.
All right, so we have Lewis Brinson with Mark.
He was in a Christian Yelich trade. He used to be with the Brewers.
Okay. Edgar Martinez with the Mariners.
Oh, I liked Edgar. He was one of my favorites growing up.
That's a little throwback. Sandy Koufax.
Oh, all right. Koufax, one of the best pitchers of all time. Ooh,
there's your boy.
Good, sir. That's my man. That's my guy right there. That's my boy. That's
not numbered. That would be pretty cool if it was numbered. I'll go ahead and I'll sleeve this one up right now.
Yeah, so I can't find the exact comp on the Willie Castro, but it looks like his autos are going for like $15 or so. So I mean, maybe one to get graded and save if he's a rookie.
He had a hot streak not that long ago, I think.
Wow, this dude is crazy pitcher.
Oh, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. His
That's
dad.
A sick photo.
His dad was a big leaguer, and his brother plays for the Astros. That's Yuli Gurriel's brother.
I like these. One thing I like about Stadium Club is the pictures of the card. I think they always have awesome pictures.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, Austin Arenado.
Yeah.
That's one of Connor is a Cardinals fan, so Arenado's on his Cardinals now.
New guy this year, yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm seeing a $35 for the Top Stadium Club Willie Castro on card auto. That's not bad.
Yeah. And we'll see what
$30. Yeah.
Luke Voigt with the Yankees.
See, I was looking up Topps Chrome instead of the Stadium Club, which is like the Stadium Clubs have more of the action pictures, which is fun.
Austin Nola, rookie. With Seattle.
Nola's solid. He's a good player.
Renato Nunez.
Oh, he's good.
Ooh, there's a guy we were talking about.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
That's cool.
Willie Mays.
It's kind of weird how these they make these really dope cards for Hall of Fame like older players, and they just like they're not worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dope card, but
I'm sure this guy
for less than $5. What does that say? I
but
can't read
got
it.
another rookie,
Rogelio?
Astros,
Okay.
and then Kerry Wood, Chicago.
Kerry Wood was nasty. Kerry Wood was really good. He
The
had a 20
K's back in
strikeout.
the
He had a
day.
couple 20 strikeout games.
So how do you feel about the league cracking down on the substance for pitchers?
Good question. Good question. I look. I think it sucks that they're doing this. It's like it's brutal that the players have to go through it. But I think also that Tanaka. I think that the league should be paying close attention to measuring the spin rates. Paddock is a stud, I think, but he's having a bad year this year. That's a cool
Nice.
card.
Not numbered.
It's a cool card though. I like Paddock. I think that what they should be doing with the crackdown on the substances is measuring the spin rates. Now that they know for certain that pitchers are not using substances, they know what the baseline looks like on their spin rates without the substances. And so eventually when they get a measurement on every pitcher, essentially, then they could maybe get more lax or dial back on the examinations of the pitchers so that they get a baseline.
Good.
Yeah.
And then when a pitcher starts to spike in his spin rates, that's when you check them again.
But it's annoying when you have a situation where you have Max Scherzer who gets checked 3 times in 5 innings. You know, it just totally messes with the flow of the game. These guys are pissed off and they're like ripping their jerseys off. They're pulling their pants down mid game, like, look, I got nothing.
It's Bush League how they're they wanted to increase the pace of play for the sport, but then they'd go and do this. But it's got mixed reviews. Some hitters like it, some hitters don't. And I don't know. They seem to be trying to do what's best for the sport, but I don't know what they are. Suarez, he's having a bad year this year, but man, that guy hit some homers. That was a Luzardo rookie card. That one on the right.
Yeah.
Luzardo's having a bad year this year, but man, he's got a lot of talent. That might be a good card.
So I've read a little bit of y'all's podcast, and please forgive me, I haven't had time to like watch any of y'all's stuff as of yet, but I noticed that y'all talk about. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Jason Varitek, there's a little Boston guy right there. Hell of a view. I've never seen a card like that.
That is a really cool picture.
Yeah. Bobby Bradley, rookie. But y'all talk about like finances, right? Like whether it's stock, the hobby of like different hobbies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our thing is like, anything analytics we love to get into. So when it comes to sports, fantasy, gambling, we're talking about finances, the stock market, sports cards. If we can give our listeners and the people who come to our webpage a little bit of advice in terms of where they can get some extra value on the margin, then that's what we're hoping to give and provide with our content. So like, for example, one of our most recent posts was about the NBA championship. And so, another trout. I like that. We were talking about how, the Bucks or on FanDuel were given the best odds in terms of gambling. But then through our own analytics and looking at other companies and research, we were saying the Suns have the best odds to win the championship. And so, I mean, if you placed a bet on the Suns back when we had the article out, you're in great shape.
How is that not a rookie card?
The year before, 2019 would be his rookie year.
Sometimes these guys are called up mid-season, right? And that could be the rookie.
So like him and Pete Alonso would be 2019.
I forgot that it was 2019. I could have sworn it was 2020. I was like, damn, that's a sick card for a sec.
Yeah, Vlad's really cool.
He's a fan favorite. He's one of the most valuable rookie cards right now.
So have we gotten any like refractors or short prints?
Not any short prints, but I've been sleeving up y'all's refractors. So if you see me sleeve up a card, so like this is a refractor right here.
Okay, but, and how can you tell the difference if it's a refractor or not?
You can see like a little silver It's probably hard to see
The glossy coat.
here, but it's a little bit. And I know these are like chromey looks. I mean, name, but that's what makes cards like these more valuable is because of like the chromey look. But I don't know if you can see like
there's like a rainbow foil to it as opposed to
right.
just the standard chrome finish. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I can tell that these are refractors. Plus, I mean, it tells you in the bag. But yeah, so I sleeving up the refractors, but no, I haven't seen any numbered cards yet.
Cool. So hopefully we can get like a Rosarina like numbered rookie card or something. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Or just even like it doesn't have to be a rookie, even if it's just like a star, like an Acuna, Tatis, or Trout or Otani, one of those guys, that'd still be pretty sick too if it was a number.
Yeah, so we got like 2, 4, 6 packs to go.
Sweet.
And for those who don't know, you have your top stadium club, and then your top stadium club chrome. I always prefer like going with the chrome. Like for Donruss, you have optic, and then regular Donruss. I prefer optic as far as I can bet. And plus, it's just a better quality card. But I mean, like obviously it's gonna be a little more expensive than your base sets, but.
Yeah, I feel like they have a little bit of like a thicker card stock as well on the chromes.
That's a cool looking card. Who's that?
Yeah, Chris Bryant. That's pretty cool.
Former MVP. He's having a great bounce back year.
Yeah, a lot of the inserts are really cool looking in these packs.
Sean Yamaguchi.
I don't know much about him.
And then Josh Rojas.
Oh, Rojas is having a good year. He's I'm located in Phoenix. He's one of the fan favorites this year.
Nice little rookie piece.
Look, D-backs are the worst team in baseball, though. So
I think I bought into like a break with the D-backs, and I got them for 99 cents, Ben.
Yeah, they're bad.
That was the only bid.
What's nice is Rich and I aren't D-backs fans, but we like the baseball, so we'll go and we got.
You were talking about earlier, Gosselin.
Oh, Gosselin's a nice looking card.
Yeah.
The D-backs have cheap seats. We paid like $50 to sit like right next to the third base dugout the last time we went.
Sick.
The Jose Canseco.
Oh man, Canseco, what a classic.
He has that novel he wrote, Juiced.
And it's a refractor.
There we go. Jose is a character, man. That's hilarious. He's looking pretty thin in that photo. It was probably before he was juicing.
I feel like Canseco should have like his own media platform to like publish like a podcast or like a talk show or something.
How do y'all feel about Pete Rose? Y'all think he's ever gonna be allowed into the Hall of Fame? Or?
I think after he dies, honestly.
Yeah.
After he dies, they'll either let him in the Hall or they'll do something for him. But I don't know. Rob Manfred is probably the worst commissioner of all time in any sport, in my opinion. I don't think he's gonna do anything to help Pete Rose out.
Speaking of,
he doesn't know anything about helping the fans enjoy the sport.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, Cody that's a cool Bellinger. Yeah, another one of those young studs.
I have a question for y'all. So since y'all mentioned Eli Manning and Hall of Fame, do y'all think he should or will get into the Hall of Fame?
He will because of the Super Bowls for sure. The fact that not only he won 2 Super Bowls, but they are over the greatest quarterback of all time.
There you go.
Oh, that's a nice card. Robin Yount is a Hall of Famer. He's a great player.
Wow,
very cool.
That's very short.
Milwaukee's old logo.
Is he bunting there? That's hilarious.
He was a shortstop center fielder. Great player. Hall of Famer.
That's sick.
That's pretty cool.
And out of 25, that is pretty short. That's like pretty short print right there.
Yep. There you go. Let me I probably won't be able to see it from back there, but all right, we have Mitch Henniger and Jake Rogers, rookie from Detroit. All right, so we got 3 more packs to go, y'all.
All right. So we got
There you
the
go.
Alvarez, right? Ooh, there we go.
Pretty cool picture.
In the throwback uni too. That's fun.
Charlie Blackmon, rookie Domingo Leyva.
What are your
Arizona.
D-backs, Benny?
Domingo. I think he's one of the top prospects. His name sounds familiar.
Got another refractor, Howie Kendrick.
Oh, I love Howie. He's one of my personal favorite players.
He's been around for a long time.
No, he's retired now. A long time.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols.
Ooh.
I think he's someone worth investing in because, I mean, he's going to be, in my opinion, he's a for sure Hall of Famer.
Oh,
yeah.
He's the first ballot.
So grab,
possibly unanimous.
Yeah. So grab one of his rookie cards, PSA 10 rookies before they jump up.
Connor's boy. He was a big time Cardinal.
Oh, yeah. That's
him and Stan the Man.
Way better on the Cardinals than he ever was on the Angels. The Angels tainted him. They've ruined his career.
Bro, his knees and the shift tainted his career.
The shifts killed him.
Berrios, he's a good pitcher. He threw terrible today. He pitched for the Twins. He went 5 innings, no strikeouts.
JT.
I feel like I even would get some strikeouts just because I throw so slow compared to the major leaguers.
Ricky Henderson, not short on confidence. That guy wasn't.
He's holding up the base.
One of the most confident players you'd ever see on the baseball field. Real cocky guy, but he was a great player.
Does he have the stolen base record?
Yeah, he does. No one's ever gonna catch that.
Especially. How many did you get in a season?
I think it was like 100. It was maybe like 120 or something like that. He had absurd stolen base numbers.
That's stupid.
Wow. Did who's second? Did Ichiro? How close did he get?
Second it's not Ichiro. It's
All right, last pack, y'all.
What's weird about Ichiro is he didn't come to America until he was like late 20s, maybe 29.
Mm-hmm. Last pack magic.
Okay, I don't know too much about him, but I hear his name in the hobby.
What is that? I can't read it.
Travis Demerit.
Oh, that sounds familiar too.
It's a cool looking jersey.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It's Lou Brock, second all time. He's got 938 stolen bases. Ricky Henderson has 1,406, so it's like 500 more than the second place.
We have number to 50.
Karinchik's a great pitcher. Closer for the Indians. Really good pitcher. That's his rookie too. That's a good card.
Yeah. Nice. Rookie to 50. That's always helpful. I like that.
Nice. I'll top load that here in a little bit.
I like Jose Ramirez. He's a good player.
Yeah. Then a Hank Aaron.
That's sick.
Woo.
That's pretty cool.
I love some of those older guys. It's always fun to get like a Hall of Famer in there.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, Connor. Give me a breakdown, Connor. What were your best cards in the pack?
I mean, personally, I gotta say I love, and yeah, of course the auto and the short print are always fantastic. If you have like a specific print run on a player, that's always helpful. And then we had the Jordan Alvarez is definitely the big rookie hit for sure. And then for me, I gotta love having some Pujols and having Hank Aaron, just having the home run king, the legitimate home run king.
I like the Trout insert.
I have to specify the legitimate home run king because Barry Bonds also with that Canseco was juicing. Oh, the Trout insert's gorgeous too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right, Nico, if we were to sub like maybe 2 or 3 of those, which ones would you go for?
For sure the Jordan Alvarez. I mean, rookies are always good. And I'm out. Go ahead with the auto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good call, especially since it's a rookie card. I mean, those guys could, you never know if they blow up.
With rookies and especially autographs. But those would probably be my best 2.
All right.
Maybe
if that Karinchik was autographed, that would have been your best card easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what the closer market is. I mean, I know pitchers are tougher,
Yeah, that's the thing. Pitchers kind of lose their value, especially closers. I mean, he could lose the closer
And
role any minute.
we're gonna be definitely SOL because there's no way I'm gonna be able to spell his name to look up comps on there.
Karichek, he's a. Just remember, he's the Indians' best relief pitcher. Him and Emmanuel Clase. They traded
So
Clase from the Rangers for Kluber.
So I mean, I love baseball. Baseball is always my second favorite sport. But as far as like following it, I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm kind of picking up the Astros as a favorite team. I never really had. So growing up, I was a Red Sox fan because that was my first little league team I was on, the Red Sox, and then hold on, let me. So we go with the break. Connor, I'll take care of your cards for your giveaway. This is Eli Manning rookie.
Oh, thank you, man. That's sick.
So let me get y'all turned around.
Yeah, I love it, Nico. That was really fun. Thanks for doing that for Connor. That was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's make sure we get those subbed, and we'll shoot us the price for those two. And I don't know, what do you think? Is the Eli worth getting subbed to, just for myself for a PC if I were to do it?
I mean, so if you want the subgrades, it'll be $22 for you. So
Okay.
if it's worth getting it graded, sure. I've had it in this case since I think I opened up the pack. This was a long time ago. I mean, it looks centered pretty well, but the back is kind of off. So I can see an 8.5 or a 9 being the best. Basically, just going off the centering, but once I take out the case, I can have a better idea of like the edges. Yeah. But like I said, it's gonna run you $22 regardless, and
Okay.
Maybe if he doesn't make the Hall of Fame.
Hey, my guy's gonna make the Hall of Fame.
But
one of the most ridiculous plays in NFL history, the pass to David
will.
Tyree. I mean, just because you have that replayability on ESPN, just he's in front of people's faces all the time. It's too bad he never got 3 championships, because then we could call him 3 Lie.
The bar to reach for the NFL Hall of Fame isn't as high as Major League Baseball's, for sure.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball has some sort of staunch, ridiculous criteria that they try to uphold their Hall of Fame members to. It's like they got to.
The NBA is even worse, man. Like Ben Wallace is in the Hall of Fame for the NBA. Yeah. I mean, they're letting anybody in there.
Serge Ibaka's probably gonna make the Hall of Fame. I mean, anybody gets into the NBA. But
all right, well, that was an awesome break. We'll probably cut that short for the people listening, but we'll have that full thing on YouTube for people who want to watch, kind of get a feel for what a box break is, what's in a hobby box, and just to catch us riffing on some players, which is fun.
All right, let's finish it up with the Vicious Minute. We'll do a quick five question trivia round here for Nico, based on some topics that are related to his sports preferences, as well as I think I threw in a question about Texas as well. So, and it's his town of Victoria.
Okay, man.
So,
make me look on my home state.
Look, I think some of these are going to be real softball for you. I think you'll be able to nail at least a small bundle of these, and I think some of them might be a little bit more challenging for you. We'll see how you do. All right, buddy?
All right. Hopefully I don't get too nervous and just have a brain fart. I'm ready. Come on, let's
does Nico get any lifelines?
Connor, if you feel the need to, if you feel compelled to help him out, and you
get one Connor lifeline, I'm not very helpful. I know nothing about Texas, so don't ask me on that one.
I'll take it.
All right, Nico. Question number 1 for the Vicious Minute. In the years 2020 and 2021, we talked about how the sports card and memorabilia market experienced a pretty big boom. As a result, the PWCC marketplace and online premier auction space sold 2 different cards for a record sale price of $5.2 million. What were the 2 cards that sold for this price?
I can't remember exactly. Is player okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a Mickey Mantle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mickey Mantle 1952 top sold in January 21.
And you said they were both
sold within the last year.
Were they 2 different players, Ben?
2 different players.
Okay. Well, I know. So I don't know if this will answer your question. The most recent one that just set the record was the Babe Ruth 1933 Gotti PSA 9 Babe Ruth card. but before that, that's all at 6 million. But that was like pretty recent.
Oh, really? Damn,
yeah,
he's got more updated information to me, so he must
yeah, that was a record breaker. Yeah.
But the other one was the Mike Trout BGS 9.
That one was up there, but that wasn't the one that I was thinking of either. And I think you mentioned earlier in the podcast, the one that they said sold for 5.2 million was LeBron James 2020, his 2003 card, his rookie card, Upper Deck collection.
Yeah,
autograph.
I forgot about that one. When someone told me, I didn't believe it, but then, I remember.
I would have guessed Tom Brady, but I think he was around 3 million.
And there was a little conspiracy with that one, with his autograph. I don't know if y'all heard about that.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was like supposedly this card sold, but then there was another one with the same number, but it was a different, like the autograph was a little bit lower, so you can tell it was a different card. Yeah, I don't know.
The Mike Trout one I think sold for 3.9 million is what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, that was last year. That was like kind of in the middle of the pandemic. Yeah.
And they have a Luka here that listed at 4.6 million for sale.
Hey Ben, you want to go in on that one together? Maybe split these.
Yeah, Ultimate Analysis is doing well enough, right? We could put that on
maybe next year.
Card.
Maybe after we IPO next year.
Hey, or y'all can just buy a 86 Fleer basketball box.
Yeah.
You hope to get a Jordan.
Michael Jordan. So Nico, I think you got that first one though, because apparently you have more updated information than me. The Babe Ruth, what kind of card?
I think the Babe Ruth might have been an SGC though.
It was a PSA 9.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, I don't sound too bad. And
we can edit it.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
but I believe it was a PSA 9, 1933 Gotti, Babe Ruth.
Cool. It sounds like a beautiful card. I would love it.
That dude, it was a neurosurgeon. He passed away due to COVID, and his whole collection was crazy. I don't know if they sold the whole collection, but they valued it at like
there's all kinds
20 to 30 million.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a neurosurgeon from New York.
I was telling my wife about this card because I was like, you know what? See, he left his family millions of dollars in his cards. That's why I'm investing in these cards for you, babe. Every time we get a shipment and a couple cards in a pack, I'm like, no, this is your retirement, honey. Right here. Not at all. No.
Sorry, hopefully we're not cutting into the vicious minute.
No, you're good. You're good. That's hilarious. I like it. How you mentioned how actors and celebrities are getting into it too. The buyer of the Mickey Mantle 1952 was an actor named Rob Goe. Actor and entrepreneur. He purchased that card. They're driving up the market prices for some of that stuff. All right, I'll give you that one. You got Nico's 1 for 1. We'll go on to question number 2, and I'm fairly certain you're gonna get this one. We'll see. It's about your beloved Cowboys. Okay, so one of your favorite sports teams is obviously the Dallas Cowboys. Through some online research, I was able to find that I was trying to find the most valuable Dallas Cowboy sports card, and it was a Cowboy player, has an estimated PSA 10 value of about 30,000 plus. Which former Cowboy is featured on this valuable card?
My guess would be Roger Staubach.
You know, buddy, you got it.
There we go.
Right there,
okay.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you were gonna trip over yourself because I know you were mentioning Staubach was your guy.
Maybe Aikman or something.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna overthink it.
No, I mean I have quite a bit of Aikman's rookie cards, and so I kind of followed his market a little bit, and I didn't think it would be that much.
I was hoping it was gonna be CeeDee Lamb for myself.
Yeah.
Now I was hoping it wasn't something like a immaculate 1-of-1 CeeDee Lamb, like a card that that just came out. That I mean I don't really follow too much of like those higher end cards and what they go for, but
they 1972 Topps Roger Staubach card rookie, valued PSA 10 over 30K apparently. All right, question number 3. We're 2 for 2. Nico's
you gotta trip him up, Ben. Come on.
Hot start. Question number 3. Nico's favorite basketball team is the Houston Rockets. The organization has 6 numbers retired. The Rockets do 7 if you include the assistant coach and general manager Carl Dawson. Can you name 3 of the 6 players to have their Rockets jersey retired? I made it 3 because I feel like there are a couple obvious ones.
Right, so Hakeem Olajuwon would be one.
There you go.
I think you may have me on this one. But man, he's another center. He's coming to mind, but I can't think of his name.
Connor,
Yao Ming would be my
all right.
last
You
guess.
got two. Yao Ming was two. You got two.
Okay, so
Connor, you got any guesses for him?
Maybe a hint because I think I have one of the guys. Something to glide. Would that be helpful?
So he came to mind, but I don't think he played long enough. I don't think he should. But Clyde Drexler.
Yeah, he's one.
So really.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of
number 22.
Yeah, that was my one.
His best years were with Portland for sure, but he was a good Rocket.
So his number is retired with Houston.
Yeah, number 22 for Houston.
Clyde
Drexler.
I mean, if Clyde is watching, Clyde, I'm sorry.
Clyde,
yeah, I just looked him up. He only played there for 4 years, so yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, for sure, Hakeem and Yao Ming came to mind. The other one I can't think of, he was a center.
You thinking of Moses?
Yeah.
Moses Malone.
He's the fifth one you got here, or fourth one you got here. Calvin Murphy was another one, and Rudy. This is the one I didn't know. Rudy Tomjanovich.
Tomjanovich.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So those two, I don't know who those are.
It looks like he was the head coach there too.
Yeah, the Carol Dawson, assistant coach and general manager. They retired a jersey for him.
So I appreciate the help, Connor. He came to mind, but I'm like, he wasn't there long.
I don't know many Rockets players, so that's just one I could think of. You know, you got the first two. I was like Clyde, Yao, and
I said Hakeem,
Elijah Wan. Yeah, exactly. But I was like, to my mind, I was like T-Mac.
T-Mac, dude, I love.
I mean, I think I don't know if they have a Ring of Honor, but I think he should definitely be, mentioned up there.
I mean, his peaks was one of the highest in the league too, but he didn't have the longevity of some of these guys.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate for him and Yao to get hurt. I feel like they could have won maybe at least one championship together.
Yeah. When you're that size, I mean, it's so easy to break a bone.
That duo was so good. It would have been cool to see them go all the way.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're 3 for 3, Nico. Let's go to question number 4.
All right.
Question number 4 is going to be
about
your hometown, your current town of residence, Victoria.
Oh, man.
All right, so in Victoria, Texas, where Nico currently resides, they're famous for a region of the town where 8 mom-and-pop barbecue joints are showcased. Apparently, there's great barbecue where you're at. Food Traveler magazine agrees that this place has some of the best barbecue in the country. What is the name of this quote-unquote trail?
So, is it like a restaurant or a truck?
It's apparently there's 8 restaurants on this trail.
It's the something trail, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. It ends with the word trail. You're not sure?
I'm not familiar with the trail, but I'm gonna name off some of our best barbecue places.
Give me some of the restaurants because I have a list of some of them that are there.
Okay, so
can you send Ben some ribs from those places as well?
That was question number. That was 4B.
That's question number 5, and the answer is yes.
So Mumford's would be one.
That was one that came up.
Okay, so that's KB's, in the region, okay.
Yeah. KB's barbecue.
Yes. Yeah.
I think no offense to any other restaurant here, but I think KB's is probably our most popular one. That's what I've been hearing, and I've yet to try it. So, yeah. But Mumford's and KB's.
Quality Packers Smokehouse. Was that one you've heard of?
Okay, I've heard of them, but I haven't tried them yet. I know people talk about this place and Uncle Mutt's.
I didn't see that one, but it sounds like you have an idea of.
So you said there was 8?
There was 8 there, but apparently they named it after this. Was the answer I was looking for was the name of where the
blank trail
it's on. Yeah.
Okay.
Are they not close together like these spots? I don't know. I wish I
Maybe.
wish I had been to Victoria so I could get some better.
Yeah, I mean,
was
maybe
trying to
I know
find
the place,
something
but I've
about
just never
Victoria,
heard it
but
put together in the
it was
trail. But
okay. So the name that I saw was Victoria's Great Coastal Texas Barbecue Trail. Does that sound familiar?
I'm not familiar with it.
The
Yeah,
Coastal
I probably
Barbecue Trail.
I might just be finding some sort of like real small.
Where the hell did you
detailed
find this,
town.
Ben?
Like, I was looking up fun facts for Victoria, Texas. It's a small
what
town.
what is it? What is this called?
Victoria's Great Coastal Texas Barbecue Trail. They said it's the
I-
best
I'm,
barbecue in the country, like what I was looking up. So that's why I thought it might be.
I'm
the
gonna have
country.
To,
Yeah.
wow, I'm gonna have to look. So a little bit like about myself. Like, so I'm married to an Asian woman. So I've tried like different things. I haven't like really stuck to just one thing like Hispanic food or barbecue. So I've been trying to like try just different food. So that's probably why I haven't kind of like stuck to either my roots and like.
We could have give you a perfect 5 for 5 here on the Vicious Minute. So you're good with you're 3 for 3, 3 for 4 now. It's all right.
Okay.
The point is, we'll have to go to Victoria. We'll have to try out this barbecue joint.
Now, for sure, we do have some pretty awesome barbecue places. If y'all ever do come down, that y'all won't for sure y'all won't be disappointed.
Trinity Card Shop and Victoria's Great Coastal Texas Barbecue Trail.
That's where you gotta go, but make sure you hit the card shop before you get the barbecue, because if you get barbecue sauce on the cards, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
That's funny. All right, question number 5. Below, I'm going to list the 5 most expensive items of sports memorabilia all time. Can you think of? I'll tell you which. I'll list them for you, and you have to tell me which one is the most expensive. Number 1 item that is the most expensive.
Okay. This may be
multiple choice. I like this.
So I got 5 options. You have to tell me the most expensive one. Okay.
Okay.
A Babe Ruth 1928 to 30 jersey. A Babe Ruth 1920 jersey. The original Olympic Games manifesto. James J. Smith's 1991 Rules of Basketball. And Daniel Lucius Adams' Rules of Baseball. So the rules of basketball.
The original rules of basketball and the original rules of baseball.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
So you got the Olympics, the
what is the Olympic manifesto? Is that like the rules of the Olympics?
Yeah, the first Olympics, like the original manifesto of the Olympics.
This is pretty cool.
You got a 1928 Babe Ruth jersey, a 1920 Babe Ruth jersey. The James.
Was he on the same team for both for Ruth? Was one Red Sox and one Yankees, or are they both Yankees?
20 is Red Sox, 28 to 30 is Yankees.
Okay.
And then Daniel Lucius Adams' Rules of Baseball.
Man, okay. So I do not know like the correct.
I don't know this either, so don't use your Connor tap in right now. I will not be able to.
I used it already with the
I'll eliminate one for you. It's not the 1920 Babe Ruth jersey, so it's not the Red
Sox. I was gonna say it's probably not the Red Sox. It would be the Yankees version. That's why I asked.
Going in to throw in like little trick in there, but so I'm gonna take with my gut feeling, and I'm gonna say the Olympics manifesto will probably be number 1.
You got it, bro.
That was yes. Wow, that's not easy.
So sick. The Olympics manifesto. Valued at $8.8 million, dude. 8.8 mil. So in order. It was the Olympics manifesto, 8.8 mil. The Babe Ruth 1928 to 30 Yankees jersey, 5.64 million. So almost it's less than the manifesto for the Olympics is $3 million more than the next most valuable item.
What about the Ben Perez Holy Cross baseball jersey?
That one didn't quite make the list. I think that was number 6. The Babe Ruth 1920 jersey was 4.42 million. The Rules of Basketball was 4.3 million, and then the Rules of Baseball were 3.26.
Okay. Wow.
And the rules of football still haven't been set, so those aren't worth anything.
Yeah.
What's a catch? Who knows?
That's funny.
I'm pumped you got it. That's sick.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. I never thought about a book of when they first made the rules would be ever talked about being bought.
Yeah.
if I
like
would
the
have walked
constitution
into
for sports. That's sick.
right, yeah. If I would have walked into a thrift store and they had the rules, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Never would have thought that could be worth millions, you know.
Yeah. That's like something you'd see on like Pawn Stars with the Vegas pawn shop.
Oh yeah, and then they call that
They call an expert
what's her
in
name?
like.
It's a fake.
That's pretty
funny.
cool. That's pretty cool information. I never would have thought about that.
Cool, Nico. 4 for 5, dude. You were super successful in the Vicious Minute.
Not
I love
bad.
it.
Awesome, yeah.
I think you
Nico,
rep Texas well, and
You
your
did,
you
totally.
did your sports teams proud for sure.
Totally. And Trinity Card Shop. You got a good business going over there. It's really cool.
He knows his cards. He knows his cards, people.
I loved it. Nico, anything you want to plug or promote? You know, any social media accounts you want to try to steer people towards? Anything you want to talk about before we sign off?
Yeah, fundraisers, anything.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like I said, I'm pretty active on our Facebook page, Trinity Sports Cards. I have Instagram, Trinity Sports Cards 4547, but I'm just, with my time, I'm just more active on our Facebook page. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, with just being a new shop, I'm still trying to build that foundation, get things going. But for sure, if you follow us on our Facebook page, you'll see the stuff that, you know, I want to get going. Like I mentioned, I want to be a huge positive advocate in our community for just promoting, you know, our next generation to, you know, do well, not also just enjoy the hobby. I served in the military, so I do want to do stuff for veterans. I think opening up packs, and not just sports cards, you know, Pokemon cards as well. I would like to do things with our veterans, especially ones who suffer from PTSD. So that's something that I definitely want to be able to do. And again, none of this would be possible without the support of people, especially in the hobby. So for sure, like I said, you know, that's just something I would just like to mention. And then, yeah, for people out there, you know, support your local card shops, you know, especially the ones who are trying to like do things outside the shop for our youth. But other than that, I mean, just, yeah, join us on our breaks. I'm always interested or willing to learn, like, from people, from their opinions, or, you know, whatever that they like, their insights, you know, let me know, and anything I can do to help, you know, people, especially investing wise. You know, this can be a good thing or a bad thing for people who are doing it for money. I mean, it's a fun hobby for sure to enjoy, but I think it could be a good investment as well.
Definitely.
But that's pretty much it.
No, well said, Nico. I really appreciate you joining us. It was a lot of fun bringing you on, and when we have more developments in the market, you'll be our guy. We have to bring on back on to ask some questions. And,
if we ever have our own Pawn Stars type of thing, you'll be our pro that we bring in for sports cards. We're like, oh, let me give my guy Nico a call over at Trinity Sports Cards. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, now for sure I'm gonna go in and research all the cards I can and learn as much as I can.
Next time you come on, now you know what the Vicious Minute's about. You'll be ready for the trivia.
Yeah, hey, that was actually pretty good. Like, I was thinking, okay, you know, he's probably gonna answer like, you know, how many Super Bowls did the Cowboys win? Like, yeah. Those are actually pretty tough questions. And
well, Ben was like, yo, we have to record this podcast a little bit later. I'm ripping up some trivia. I don't think you thought it was going to be this intense, huh?
No, we know what he's doing. But you did good.
That was some really good information for sure. That was fun.
All right, Nico, thanks again. Really enjoyed your company here on Vicious Talk. We'll definitely have to bring you back some other time. That was, you know, a lot of fun.
Hey, anytime, guys. I definitely appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you know, best of good fortune to you and your family as well. Really appreciate you. You know, you got a young family at home. Really appreciate you them lending you to us for the night. You know, spending the time here. You know, it's getting late over there. Yeah, for sure. I definitely appreciate, you know, my wife, you know, just being supportive and, you know, take one for the team and watching the boys while I'm away. Yeah. But like I said, we had a good time, and for sure, anytime y'all want me on y'all's podcast, just hit me up. I'll make some time. Thank you. All right, man. Take care. All right, guys.
All right. Thanks, Nico.
Thank y'all.
Thanks again to Nico for joining us for episode 70 of Vicious Talk with Benny P. That was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that company. Connor, thanks again for joining us as well, for putting us in touch.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to do it here for Vicious Talk with Benny P. Please remember to subscribe, rate, review on any, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. We're on them all. Also, please subscribe on our YouTube channel for all things analysis. Follow our social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We got a lot of stuff coming up, and we're excited for the future of our company as well as this podcast. That's going to do it here for episode 70. Connor, thanks again. Remember to ask yourself at the end of the day, are you vicious?